The negative side has brought up several points onto why the Electoral College system does work for America, and it's today's game. Some of the points they brought up is that Electoral College does its job to make sure that the smaller states are protected, that it would make elections worse and focus on major cities, and that multiple party running would mess up the vote and make it harder to choose. Like basically, a candidate can win with only 40% of the vote, even though it's not a fair enough representation. For the first point, that the Electoral College doesn't have to do its job, that's our point. We want to change that job. That job's not satisfying what America needs right now. It's not fair that California is 10 votes less than we deserve. That's your voice is not being represented. And especially when we have such a large state and a lot of things that are done in California affect the country. Let's see, when they said that we need to protect state rights, our citizens not part of the state. When you're voting, no matter how small your state is, your voice is still being heard. It's still just as equal as someone on the East Coast, just equal as someone in the middle of America. So, see, and the second point was that it would make elections worse, that people would focus on major cities. I have several points to refute that. According to CPP Gray, even winning 90 of the next biggest cities wouldn't even reach 20% of the popular vote. 90 of America's major cities, that's not even 20%. So saying that they would focus on major cities is inaccurate because you can't win an election with 20%. You need more than 20% if you do the popular vote. So then electors would be forced to go across the country and appeal to every single American rather than focus on major cities. Let's see. And also, you mentioned about major cities. New York City, one of America's most major cities. Only 8 million people live in New York City, the largest city in America. That's only 2.6% of the US population. 2.6% does make a difference, but not major enough a difference to influence the rest of America. Because America, we have such a large country, only 2.6%, that can't totally sway a vote. If the rest of America votes for one candidate and New York City votes for another, that's not going to change your vote. Versus now, when the rest of America votes for one candidate, but several swing states vote for a less popular candidate, that can change your vote's country, and that can determine who's leading your country, even though the popular vote wouldn't be in the way. And to bounce off a little more of the Electoral College not doing its job, the Electoral College has a 5% fail rate. Doesn't seem like much, but when it's choosing on your country's leader, you don't want a fail rate. You don't want it to be failing. There are several accounts when the presidential election had the least popular voting, the least popular candidate win in 1824, 1876, 1888, and most recently in 2000. And the candidate who did not receive the popular vote did not become president. As Americans, we deserve to have who we want and who we feel to be president. I understand that we are running a republic and we should be voting, but we're trying to change that and focus more on direct democracy because that would represent us more evenly. And 62% of Americans say that they would amend the U.S. Constitution to replace that system for elected presidents with a popular vote system. So Americans are speaking up too. They want a change. They don't want it to be like this anymore. When speaking about multiple parties running, when you only have two possible candidates, Republican or Democrat, you're not allowed to have, you can't have any other candidates come and speak. You can't have them really influence. They're not even included in debates. There were several other candidates in this presidency that were on the ballot, and you didn't see them in the presidential debates. Americans are feeling like they're choosing between the lesser of two evils rather than choosing the candidate they actually want. They claim that would make elections even more tough to count and would divide the vote even more. To refute this, we did some research and we found that if we were to switch to a direct popular vote, what we would do is when the votes come in and say there was a tie or there's three candidates who are very similar, very close percentages of the country, they would take the top two and then have another election to decide who would be president. Let's see. The negative response was also that the Electoral College is more representative of the nation. The Electoral College focuses on several geographic points. It's not our nation. It's Ohio, it's South Carolina, it's Florida. That's not our nation. Those are major parts of our nation, but there's not exactly our nation. and also response that the Electoral College had maintained the test of time, just because something's been around for a few hundred years doesn't mean it's right. A lot of things have been changing, a lot of voting laws have been changing lately. The U.S. Constitution is 225 years old, and there have been over 700 major attempts to alter and diminish the Electoral College. That's more than 3 major movements a year. If we've only had this Constitution for 225 years, and there have been so many movements that changed this part of it, that means from the very beginning people knew this was wrong. Electoral College used to work. It used to help the smaller states when we had only a few thousand people living in the states. But now, such popular cities, we need another way to represent our people because it's not being fairly represented.